Hey guys, welcome back. So today is day... I don't know. I lost track. I'm bored out of my skull, and I keep going to work and still bored. Not because we're not doing anything, but because there's so little extra to do. I can't imagine what it's like for Melissa. Just here at the house, working and babysitting, and bless you, woman. Today, we are going to play Dragon Ball Z Perfect Cell Dice Game. Now, yesterday, and the video that's uploaded right now, Battle Royale from DreamWorks Dragons, is an RPG, which is designed for 8-year-olds and up. Today's is also an RPG type of game, designed for ages 14 and up. Just because that's what it says doesn't mean it's always true. I definitely think younger than 14 could handle it. But if that other one was definitely a starter for RPGs for kids, this is a medium for RPGs for kids. We've played a couple others on here, like The Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. Fantastic games, very heavy RPGs, kind of complicated, and lengthy as can be. Now, this game is not super short, and we're going to make it a little bit longer today. So, we'll see how things work out. Let's start out here with the box. The rule book is 12 pages long and incomplete. Love an incomplete rule book. Love it, I'm telling you. Let's spend $1 billion and not put all the rules in there. It comes with all these convenient Ziplocs and sticky seal bags, which help keep everything organized. I like the box design. This is IDW Games, right there by my thumb. And Toei Animation, Funimation, and of course Akira Toriyama is heavily... It's his creation, Dragon Ball Z. So I'm sure he definitely gets his kickbacks. So we're going to go ahead and set this aside. I've read through the rulebook thoroughly. I'm sure we know how to play it. And the practice game beforehand. Don't worry, I didn't lose this time. Because this is a cooperative RPG game. So we both won. I love being on her team. It means I win. The characters include Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin. So we have a human, a Namekian, 2 full-blooded Saiyans, and 2 half Saiyans. We've already decided who we want to play as, so I'm going to pick up Goku and Krillin. And Melissa, go ahead. You're okay. Gohan and Piccolo. So, these... I forget where we were going to put this. I don't like it. So, we'll put it over there for right now. These, we've decided, are probably the best characters for the game that we're going to play. We're both going to try to play as 2 characters. Her as Piccolo and Gohan. So, I'm going to give you the blue ones for Gohan and the green for Piccolo, because Piccolo is green. I'm going to go with orange for Goku and yellow for Krillin, because they were both trained by the same people, but he's obviously weaker than Goku. The only thing that we're going to do differently about this game, other than the fact that we're both playing as 2 characters, is that we're going to roll the dice at the same time, all 10 of them, and then we'll set aside who can do what. And we will try to maintain a pattern. Cell always starts out at 70 health, and these are Cell's attacks, or threats. It can range from needing anywhere between 1 die and 5 dice. You can need specific dice, random dice, a random die that has no relation to any others, or any random die, but then you have to have another one of the same one. So, the threats can range anywhere from 1 to 5, sorry, 1 to 5. 2, 3, 4. Specific dice, random dice. Doesn't matter. They can match. They cannot match. Not allowed to match, and have to match. So you can pick the first one you put down, but then if you don't have the second one, then someone else has to follow suit. So we're going to set these with these and go ahead and give them a quick shuffle. And then all of the characters have different health points. So would you go ahead and set those out for me? We're using Senzu beans to depict their health, their HP. Goku gets 5. Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan each get 6. Vegeta would also get 6, and Trunks Trunks gets 7. He gets the most. So we're going to set those aside for a minute. And then we have our superpowers, or power-ups. And these will fit conveniently underneath the character sheet. You have anywhere from needing 1 die, 2 dice, or 3 dice. And each one is different, just like Cell's attacks, which I didn't go into, but we will. You have, if you roll these dice, you can do extra damage. If you roll this die or this die, then you can power that up. So we will go over that each time we do it, and what each one means and all that. Cell's attacks are anywhere from neutral attacks that don't let us do something or they keep us from doing something, to positive attacks for himself, which are healing attacks, and negative attacks for us, which do damage. And whenever Cell attacks, everybody takes damage. So we don't want to see that happen. I'm sorry, can you move your dice? Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and flip out 3 of those to start the game with. Yeah, go ahead. Just put them underneath and then line them up beside it if you have to. And then we have Dragon Ball tokens or tiles. So on the front, on the back of the Dragon Ball tiles, you just see the 3-star ball. I don't know if you can make that out. That's okay. It's just the 3-star ball. But on the back, you can get a single attack, which is worth 1 point of damage. A stronger attack, which is worth 2 points of damage. Or you can get a wild. There are 12 single attacks, 8 double attacks, and 4 wilds. And the wild you can use as any die face and place appropriately wherever you need it. Whether it be on an attack card from Cell so that way maybe you can use one of your other dice for something else. You can use it as damage because it can count as these. You can use it as an assist. You can't give it to someone because once you use it, it's gone. But you can heal someone or... there's one more thing you can do with shares. Oh, I'm sorry. You can use that to get dice back, and I'll explain that in a little bit. You can also use it as a Dragon Ball. Instead of using one of your dice as a Dragon Ball and having to lose one, you can use it as Dragon Ball, and then it sits on the Dragon Radar. When you play with only 2 players, it says 2 to 4 players. You can play it with 1. It would just make it kind of hard, especially trying to kill Cell from max health all the way down to 0. When you play with 2 characters, you include the blue circles for attacks and the blue circle for the Dragon Radar. When you play with 3 or more characters, you have to include the level 3 attacks and the level 3 for the Dragon Radar, which means that you are, it's harder to do extra damage to Cell, and it's harder to fill the Dragon Radar. If you fill the Dragon Radar, you can heal everybody back to full health, and if anyone is knocked out at the time, they are woken up. You beat the game by getting Cell all the way down to 0 health. You lose the game if Cell runs out of attacks, or if everyone is knocked out at the same time. So we'll just set those there beside it, and when they get flipped over, we'll put them on the character sheet. Okay. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Our first 3 power-ups are Light Grenade, Masenko, and Destructo Disc. Destructo Disc and Light Grenade require only one assist, which is the hand symbol on the die. Masenko requires 2 assists. So that's that. And really quickly, let me cover the dice here. Each die is designed exactly the same way, just different colors. You have 2 assists on a die. You have 2 1-point attacks on a die. You have 1 double attack, which is worth 2 points, and 1 Dragon Ball. So these are kind of the 1 and the 6, and then you got 2, 5, 3, 4. And they say it's always easier to roll one of those 4 than it is a 1 or 6. So, like I said, these are going to be Gokus. These are Krillin's. The game starts out with automatically putting out 1 threat tile per player. We're not 2 players, we're playing as 4. So this game's going to be a little bit harder than the last time we played it, but I'm up to the challenge. I think we can handle it. We did pretty well last time. Yeah. So we're going to give it a shot. The only rule that is not stipulated in the rule book is, it says, for example, if you have 2 players and you put out 2 tiles, and on the next turn, if those are not gone, or if one of them is not gone, then you still flip out 2 tiles. I don't know what to do if, per se, we don't eliminate all 4 tiles. So for right now, we're just going to fill up the bar. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So no extra attacks. We're not going to make it any harder than it already is. But anyone that has the proper rule, information from a website that I don't know about, or anyone that may have gotten in contact with the creators, please let me know. Leave it in the comments below. So our first threat is Power Up. Dragon Balls cannot be re-rolled or passed. So once per turn, you can toss a die or burn a die to re-roll any amount of the other dice that you have. This here is saying you cannot re-roll Dragon Balls, which is fine because you can just burn it instead. But that's no big deal. At least it's not a physical attack. Excuse me. And then Solar Kamehameha deals 3 damage to all fighters. The first one requires 3 dice, but they all have to be the same one. This one requires 5 random dice. Next we have Heal 5 damage, Regenerate. So we have to have these 2 specific dice to eliminate this threat. And then Key Sense. Single attacks cannot be re-rolled or passed. It doesn't say they can't be used, it just says that you can't pass them. And Goku's special ability says that I can pass any die, not just the palms, not just the assists. So right now I can't pass fists, which is no big deal. So let's see here. We've got him healing damage, and we've got him... Oh, sorry. As soon as that's done, the first player begins their turn. So I'm going to go first, and then I'm going to have Melissa go next, and Melissa will roll all the dice at the same time, and she'll just follow suit. Piccolo, who is green dice, you'll activate his dice first, and then you'll activate Gohan's, and I will do the same thing, Goku first, and then Krillin. Okay? Yeah. So, I would say we need to take out the Solar Kamehameha first, and then the Regenerate if we can get to it. It's bad enough if we do damage and he heals up, but if we can't, if we start getting attacked, we're going to lose really quickly, especially with something that strong. Yeah. So, I'm going to roll all 10 dice. We've got, for Krillin, a Dragon Ball, a 1 attack, a 2 attack, and 2 assists. And then for Goku, we have 3 single attacks and 2 assists. So I think, let's see here, that says that Dragon Balls can't be passed and fists cannot be passed. So I kind of feel like leaving those two out and then seeing as much damage as we can get done. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with Goku, what I'm going to do is try to take out that Solar Kamehameha. And since I can't help with the regenerate on this one, I'm just going to put all of his dice over there. Because it all says random, it doesn't matter what they are.
Okay.
So there's that. That's defeated. We can ignore it, but it doesn't come off the board until later, and you'll see that. As far as Krillin goes, Krillin can help. Let's see here. He can purchase upgrades for anybody on the team. So we have a couple of assists. We have one attack, a Dragon Ball that I could use, and a 2 attack and a 1 attack. So I can help with the regenerate if maybe you can roll 1.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you have Gohan, so he can re-roll his dice for free.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and do that first. And can't pass anything. Let's see here. Let me get some power-ups here. Dragon Ball can be used to deal 3 damage. And 3 damage if you have 2 fists. So let's do that. I'm going to take these 2 assists and discard them to get these 2 attacks. I'm going to give Piccolo the first attack, Destructo Disc. And then I'm going to take this attack for myself. So, Destructo Disc, if he rolls a Dragon Ball, he can set it down here as an attack instead of just getting things. Which I could have given it to myself and done damage. Dingus. And then the Light Grenade, both of these cost 1 share, or assist. But if I have 2 single fists, then it counts as 3 damage instead of only 2. And then I am going to go ahead and use the 1 attack, so he goes down 1 point. And I'm going to use the Dragon Ball, since I can't share it. Can't be re-rolled or passed. Okay. And I'm going to get a Dragon Ball, which is a dragon. Cool. So I'm going to hold on to that for a minute. We might need it later. And then it is your turn. So go ahead and roll all 10. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see. So every time a new attack is bought, a new attack is placed out automatically. So we have Mimicry and Super Saiyan form. There is an unwritten rule that we kind of played with last time. You don't have to play with it, but I don't think it's right that a human or a Namekian gets Super Saiyan form. So as long as we give that to either Goku or Gohan, we're fine. One of us will still be able to use it. It's just a matter of balancing the attacks. Okay, so let's go ahead and isolate your green ones for Piccolo. And your blue ones for Gohan. And Piccolo's going to do things first. Do you have a double attack?
No.
Okay. But Gohan does. So we'll get to that one in a minute. You don't have to reroll any dice. Let's see here. You can purchase attacks. You can do damage, which he has the Dragon Ball attack. So you could use the Dragon Ball to do 3 damage if you wanted, which would be the best thing other than getting a Dragon Ball tile. But you could do that. You have 2 fists, so you could put 1 down here, and fists are pretty easy to get, so you could put a fist up there. It just means that we have to get all fists on that attack. Mm-hmm. And if you put a fist down here, then that one's already being taken care of for next turn. Mm-hmm. Key sense. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what that is. And then you have your assists. So you can either pass these to Krillin or to Gohan, and Gohan can roll them too, but you don't have to. Mm-hmm. Or you can use them to purchase attacks, which you probably should, because we had a lot of effect out of that Super Saiyan form last time. Mm-hmm. The only problem with that is if Piccolo buys it with his green dice, he gets it.
Okay.
So you might want to buy a damage or one of the power-up attacks for Piccolo.
Okay.
but it's up to you.
I think I'll do that.
Okay, so go ahead and take it down 3 points for the attack, and then +1 because we did do extra damage.
Okay. And then I think I'll do this here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that one there.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then
And while it's still Piccolo's turn, remember, if you don't want to do that, you can always take those 1 points of damage and put them here. Because if he has another damage, then we're going to get 2 extra points.
yeah.
It's just something to think about. It's still Piccolo's turn.
I think I'll just do these here. Is that what you said?
No,
What
no,
did you
not
say?
these. Sorry, not these, the fists.
Oh.
No, these are still only assists. That's all that they count for right now.
So I can get this one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're going to put that on Piccolo. So if you use 2 fists, it does 4 damage instead of only 2, which is what I was talking about with those 2.
Okay.
Okay. So there's that. And then let's settle Gohan's dice. Now remember, Gohan is a free roll, so he can re-roll anything he wants.
But this one can go in here.
Yes, he can. So that one's done. And then,
This one could go in there.
yep. And you still have a Dragon Ball, a fist, and an assist. So you could put the fist over there if you wanted. You don't have to. And the assist could get you Super Saiyan form for Gohan.
That's what I think I want to do.
Okay, so go ahead and set that one aside.
And then I think I will put the fist up here.
Okay. And then the Dragon Ball can get you a tile. You can't pass it. But you can re-roll it because you haven't re-rolled anything. And then maybe you'll get some sort of attack. Or you might get the fist, which we need for that. Oh, let's go ahead and put out 2 more attacks because they were bought. Sorry about that. Super Kamehameha and Gallic Gun. Which, I forgot that. Gallic Gun is Vegeta's only attack. Vegeta has a really weird personal power-up. Kind of like how Gohan lets you re-roll once per turn. Krillin can buy superpowers for anybody on the team. Goku can share any dice, not just assists. And Piccolo can change the face of 1 die once per turn. So, what was I saying? Oh, Vegeta's special attack is that he starts off with Kamehameha. Don't know why. But Gallic Gun is out there. That just takes more to buy. And then you have 2 assists and 2 assists. So.
I think I'm just gonna get.
Okay, that's fine. Whichever one you want. Okay. So you can either go ahead and use it now, which it's not going to be super effective. It'll just be 2. Or we can set it down here and use it later if we need it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's go ahead and scoot that off. Okay, so when scoring damage, damage is set and counted. Set and counted. And then if you fill up a whole bar from left to right, then you get the extra point of damage as well. So that is what we did. That's correct. And then we don't have any Dragon Balls, so we don't have to worry about that right now. So now that we've spent all of our dice, put them someplace, done something with them, it's now Cell's turn. First, we look at his attacks. These 3 are finished off. They're out of the game. So you have those 2. That gets set aside. You have that one, and I have this one. That gets set aside. And then I have all of these. That gets set aside. And we've already dealt the damage, so you get the green one. And then it's Cell's attack. He has no physical attacks. He has no healing. The only thing he has in it is a passive attack, which says that we still cannot share or re-roll Dragon Balls, which I forgot about. I suggested you re-roll that Dragon Ball, but you actually weren't allowed to. I apologize. So it's a good thing you spent it. So, sorry, this is making me lose my mind a little bit. So his attack is passive. He has no actual attacks. So that's the end of Cell's turn. At the very beginning of the round, we set out until it's full again. So you want to go ahead and at least hand them to me, and then I'll figure out what they are. So Rapid Fire deals 1 damage to everybody. Telekinesis deals 1 damage to everybody. And Regenerate heals 7 damage. Now, as much as I don't want to take damage, I think those are probably going to be pretty easy to get rid of. Except for the Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And the Dragon Ball on Regenerate.
Yeah.
But Piccolo can change the face of one of his dice. So we might be able to use that. And if we take 1 damage this turn, it's not that big of a deal. Him healing 7 damage, kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Krillin still has the 1 attack, special attack, and Goku doesn't have any. So let's see if we can get him 1. Okay. So Goku has 3 assists, 1 attack, and 2 attack. And then Krillin has 4 single attacks, which is going to help us out a lot, and 1 assist. So let's do Goku first in order to go in order. We need a 2 attack, a 1 attack, an assist, and a Dragon Ball. I don't have any Dragon Balls. So hopefully you get it. If not, I'll figure something out. So yeah, this Regenerate is kind of a big deal right now. So I'm going to do all of that. And then up here we have deal 1 damage and deal 1 damage. Well, I can at least do that. And I have an assist, which I could give to you. Because I can't even use it to buy a single attack. So, yeah, I'm actually going to give that to Piccolo. Yeah, which is the green dice. Also, something I forgot to mention, the reason we left those dice up there on power up is because once you set dice on an attack, even if it's not completed, the dice stay there until the end of the round, or until not until the end of the round, until that attack is completely defeated, which is why we got all the other dice back, but not those 2. I was going to say something else about that, but I forget what it is. Oh, also, Dragon Balls, they stay here. You can use an assist to pull back as many dice as you want, saying, well, like, for example, if I wanted, I could say, I'm going to burn this assist, take those 2 back, so that way she has all of her dice. Which maybe I should. Yeah, actually, I think I will. So go ahead and take your 2 dice back off of that. We still can't share Dragon Balls. That's no big deal. That's a 1 in 6 chance that you'll roll any. So anyway, that was all of Goku's dice, right? Yeah, because I handed you his assist. So now moving on to Krillin, I used his assist to pull back 2 dice, and they go back to the appropriate player for the record. And then I have 4 single attacks. Now, I could help her out and go ahead and do those 2 single attacks, or I could help us both out and get a lot of damage on Cell. And so that's what I think I'm going to do. By playing these 2, I don't do 2 damage. Krillin does 3 damage. So there's 3, and then plus 1, that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then I get to do 3 more. But this is not full, because we need a 3rd attack. So that's going to do 1, 2, 3 more. And then it is Piccolo's turn. So go ahead and roll all your dice. I'm just going to hold those there, because there's a lot more in your way this time. So there's that. Go ahead and isolate, and then we're going to figure out the green ones first. And Piccolo's holding one of Goku's orange dice as well, so we can use that too. So, let's see here. We still need the Dragon Ball, which you did get.
I got like 3 of them.
That's awesome. So yeah, go ahead and do that. And then that one still needs a fist. That one needs a Dragon Ball and a fist if we don't want to take any damage.
Yeah, and I have a Dragon Ball and a fist.
Okay, cool.
So I think yeah.
Okay, and then you have 2 assists. You can change the face of one of those because that's Piccolo's power. So if you change that to a fist, then we won't take any damage, and you'll still have 2 dice that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
So if you change this one to a fist, you can use this to buy Piccolo's 3rd attack.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can change one of these into a fist, give this to Gohan, he can roll it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can still get a Dragon Ball tile.
Mm.
But it's up to you. You can either
Okay.
change this into a fist and use those to get an attack,
Mm-hmm.
or change one of those into an attack and then use these the way they were intended.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change this one into a fist.
Okay, so you're changing the assist into a fist.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna
so-
put it on here,
Telekinesis is done.
and then I'm gonna pass this one to my other.
Okay, so we're actually going to separate that because he still gets to roll it.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use this to get a Dragon Ball.
Okay. Another fist. Cool. So I'm going to put it on Gohan, but it's actually Piccolo's. So we'll just separate it. And then go ahead and roll that for Gohan, which is a 2 attack. That's awesome. And we can still knock out that power up if you have 3 of a kind, which I don't recommend using 3 Dragon Balls if you have that.
I don't
Okay.
have 3 of anything.
So you have what do you have here? Because I can't see them all. You have 2 Dragon Balls,
An assist,
an assist,
2 fists.
2 single fists, and then 1 2 fist.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and this is Gohan. Your assists count as double attacks,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got 1.
Yeah.
Your Dragon Balls, and you can re-roll any of them if you want to. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to do any of that? But your single attacks can do 1. No, sorry, your single attacks can do 1.
Mm-hmm.
Your Dragon Balls can get you a couple more tokens, which might come in handy later. Doesn't look like you're going to get an attack for yourself unless you re-roll and try. But I would definitely use that as a 2 attack because you'll fill that up and you'll actually get 4 damage on cell.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, all of this is up to you. You get to decide how you want to do it. If you want to re-roll anything, do you want to try for a power?
Well, I do want to use this one here.
Okay. So that does 2 damage, and then plus 2, so that's 4. Okay. And then if you had 3 attacks, oh, you do have 3 attacks. You can also say that you're going to do 1 damage, and 2 damage because your assist counts as a 2. And then you do 1, 2, 4, 6 more damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can re-roll and get assists. You can whatever.
Yeah, I think I want to re-roll these 2.
You want to re-roll the Dragon Balls?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. They're your dice.
Nope, same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you get double 1s and then double 1s? Remind me to be on your team in Monopoly too. Unfortunately, we still can't pass these.
Right.
Not that you could, but you can't pass them. You could put them here in case if you're afraid of getting hit, but then you're just losing 2 dice.
No, I think I'll just use those to get more
Okay.
tiles, and then I think I'll use these for
Attacks. Okay. So she's using her assist as a 2 attack. I don't know if they have names. I'll look them up in a second. But it's 2 hands that look like that, and Gohan's current Super Saiyan form ability says that you can use 1 assist as a 2 attack. So she's doing 2 damage, and then 2 fists is 1 and 1 because she doesn't have the same power up that Krillin has. And then because she completed another row, she gets to do plus 2 damage. So altogether, that's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Cool. And then you want to use your Dragon Balls?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick 2 tiles.
Yep. Any 2 you want.
So fist.
Fist.
And a double.
And a double fist. Cool. Okay, so it is now Cell's turn. We get to take all these off. Goku gets his dice back. Piccolo gets his dice back.
Okay.
These are Goku's. And these 3 are removed. We still can't pass Dragon Balls, but that's okay. Will you discard those for me? Thank you. And then Cell, it's now that his moves that have been eliminated are eliminated, he attacks, and the only thing he has is a passive attack. So, we get to take our dice back. Here you go, and these are mine. And we start a new round, so let's go ahead and flip over some new threats. We have Destructo Disc, deal 2 damage. Requires 5 random dice, any dice, doesn't matter. Perfect Barrier, 2 attack results cannot be re-rolled or passed. So it's kind of like the Dragon Ball and the single fist. No big deal. It's a passive attack. Plus, who re-rolls those? And then Regenerate, which is heal 3 damage. So I would definitely say Destructo Disc is a big deal. And probably the heal 3 damage. But I feel like we should get rid of one of these 2. And since, let's see here, play 7, heal, revive, spend immediately to gain Dragon Ball token. Yeah, I don't think we can pass the Dragon Ball icons on the Dragon Ball, on the die, but Goku can. But just because I pass it doesn't mean it is what it is. You still have to re-roll it. So those 2, we'll get to them when we get to them. I would say we need to get rid of these other 2.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, if we get it, then we'll go ahead and take those 2 out. Because this one just requires 3 random dice that don't match, and then that one requires 3 random dice that do match.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So Krillin rolled 3 assists and 2 fists, which he still gets to use his special power-up again. And then Goku, there it is, has 3 Dragon Balls. That's awesome. An assist and a fist. I really hate to use 3 Dragon Balls all on one attack. So let's see here. I'll definitely put this one on the Regenerate, this one on the Destructo Disc, and this one on the Destructo Disc. And then I'm going to use these 2, so that way he has something. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to take these 2 here. We got a single fist and a 2 fist. So, oh, sorry, these are actually Goku's, not Krillin's. So we're going to set those over there. And he still doesn't have any superpowers. But let's see if Krillin can help him out first. And if not, then I might go ahead and use his Dragon Balls to try to do some damage. So Krillin has 3 assists and 2 fists. I kind of want to save those to do the extra damage. We could... I almost feel like I should give you one of the assists. Try to make sure that we get the 2 attack.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll put these 2 up here. And then if you, whatever you roll, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to help you make sure that we get that.
Okay.
Because the 2 attack is like the 1 or the 6. There's only one of them. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that on Gohan. Do it on Piccolo, because Piccolo can change 1 die. And then these 2 fists count as doing 3 damage plus 1, which is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And unfortunately, because we needed so much stuff, I couldn't get Super Kamehameha over there for Goku, which I really wanted to do. But Goku's not rolling a lot of those double attacks anyways. So instead I'm going to go ahead and use Goku's Dragon Balls to deal 1 damage and 2 damage, which is 3. 1, 2, 3. No, other players cannot spend someone else's Dragon Balls, but it doesn't specify that you're only allowed to use Dragon Balls on your turn. So during Krillin's turn, Goku plays his Dragon Balls. Go ahead and roll your dice. Okay, so Piccolo acts first. We have a couple Dragon Balls.
He did get the double attack.
Okay, cool. And I looked that up. That's called a super attack.
Okay, so a super attack.
Yeah, okay.
And then I have 3 Dragon Balls and 2.
2 fists?
Yeah.
Well, if you use your 2 fists for Masenko, then he'll do 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Dragon Balls, one of them can go there for Destructo Disc.
Mm-hmm.
And you could put one on Perfect Barrier because that's calling for 3 different dice. So it's not like we get screwed into having to have 3 Dragon Balls.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can also use his power to change one of the dice, one of the Dragon Balls, into a fist. And if you use it with his Dragon Ball fist, then he'll get 4 more damage. And then you would also fill both of these up doing 4 extra damage. So you're not only going to do 4 regular damage and 4 extra damage, but 4 bonus damage too. So that would be pretty powerful. And then you could always use his extra Dragon Ball or Dragon Balls to get a couple more in return.
Okay. So, yeah, I think I'll use these.
Okay, so by using the 2 fists together,
Yeah.
she does 4 damage. So go ahead and do that. And she does 2 more for filling this damage bar.
And then I think I will change one of these to the fist.
Yeah. Okay.
So that I can use that in his Dragon Ball.
Yep. So fist does 4 more. And you completed another attack bar, which does 2 more. So that was awesome. Good for you. And then you already changed one of the dice, but you still have 2 Dragon Balls, so you can either use them, or you can try to use them up there on the attacks.
I think I'll do one on this one. So
Okay. That's done. You don't
Done.
take any damage, yeah.
And then I think I want to pick another
Okay.
tile for him.
Super attack?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's Piccolo's. And then we have Gohan.
So I have 2 fists, an assist, a Dragon Ball, and a super attack.
Okay. So his assist would count as a super attack if you wanted to use it that way. Your Dragon Ball is a Dragon Ball. You can use the Dragon Ball, again, you can use the Dragon Ball up here to try to get rid of that. It's still going to be there this turn, but at least we know that the other 2 don't have to be Dragon Balls. So you would have 2 damage here and then 4 damage here. Or you can re-roll as many as you want and maybe try to get another attack for Gohan. But you would have to have at least 1 more assist just to get 1. But since he has the assist that counts as a super attack, getting Super Kamehameha would be a pretty good attack.
Yeah.
Because instead of doing 4 damage, you'd be doing 8.
Yeah.
It's all up to you, though.
I know. Which one would I re-roll, though?
Probably the fists and the Dragon Ball.
So keep these and re-roll these 3 to see what I get.
Yeah, because you only need 1 assist, and there are 2 assists on each die. So you have a 33% chance per die.
Okay, I'll try, because I do kind of want
And I
that.
think you have a 66% chance of rolling at least 1.
Nope, 2
No.
fists and another super.
Okay. Well, that stinks. And then you also have 2... Oh, well, that doesn't matter because you don't have Super Kamehameha yet. Man. Ooh, Krillin will use his Wild as an assist. So that way you can get your Super Kamehameha. Yeah. So let's do that.
So
So-
then these 2 have been
yeah.
used.
And the Dragon Ball stays face up, just set it off to the side. And then you can do your super attacks and your regular attacks and 2 more super attacks if you want.
Yeah.
And 1 regular attack if you needed to, but I don't know that.
So if I do these 2.
That does 2 points of damage. But if you added this one, it would do 3 points of damage plus 2. And then these 2 here and these 2 here, we'd get a lot of extra damage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So that was
1, 2, 3 plus 2 is 5. Go straight down 1. Oh, no, you're right. Sorry.
how
1,
many?
2, 3, 4, 5. You're right. Sorry.
That's okay. And then these 2 can go.
For super
here.
attacks, and
Yeah.
because she has 2 super attacks, it counts as 8 damage, and you have a bonus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then, if you spend both of these, we can do 11 more damage.
Yeah, I think I want to do that.
Okay?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Cool. We just might have this in the bag. That was a little bit, like, so far it's been a little bit easier than I anticipated. Because last time we did okay, but we only had 10 dice, and a couple times we needed all 10 dice just to take out a couple of attacks.
Yeah.
But this time we've got 20 dice, and so far the maximum that we've had has been like 15.
Yeah.
And 3 of them we just keep leaving up there.
Right.
Who passes Dragon Balls? Alright, so we did excellent that time. It's now Cell's turn. So let's go ahead and take back all of our dice. And all the Dragon Balls get discarded. The Dragon Balls technically get discarded for right now, but if we run out of Dragon Balls, we just flip them all face down and shuffle them again. And then, so this attack, the regenerate is gone, so there's that and that. And the Destructo Disc is gone. So I'm going to let you discard those for me. That's yours. Krillin's, Goku's. And his 2 attacks that remain say that we cannot pass a super attack die, and we can't re-roll a super attack die. We cannot pass or re-roll a Dragon Ball. So let's see what our next 2 attacks are. Solar Flare. Cell is immune to damage bonuses. Well, at this point, Cell, I'm pretty sure you're still going to die. And Death Saucer, or Saucer, deal 2 damage to all fighters. Now, here's the thing. We could just say, look, let's just do 3 points or 2 points of damage. We're done. It doesn't matter what he does to us. But we're going to go ahead and finish out this round as if it's not the last one, just to see what all we can get rid of. Personally, I want to see if we can get rid of all those attacks off there.
Yeah, we also need to put a new.
Yes. Light Grenade, which is what Krillin has.
Okay.
2 punches count for 3 damage instead of only 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, the single punch is called an attack, and then the double hand is super attack. Alright, so if this were a normal round, I would say we have to get rid of the 2 damage, just so nobody takes any damage.
Yeah.
Second up would be Cell's immunity to these, because the idea would be that next round, we don't want to miss out on that extra damage.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see what we can do to get rid of those, just to get rid of them.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So these 2 here have to be the same die. These 3 here. I'm sorry. These 2 here have to be different dice. These 3 here have to be different dice, and those 3 have to be the same dice. So let's go ahead and roll for our turtles. Well, they're little known fact for you. Everyone else out there probably already knows. Krillin and Goku are trained by the Turtle Hermit. He's a human who asked for immortality from the Dragon Ball, from the Dragon Balls, from the Eternal Dragon. So he's like 772 years old, 774 years old. Okay, we have several assists. 1 attack, 1 Dragon Ball. I'm not placing that on the radar. That's for Krillin. And then Goku has a Dragon Ball, an attack, a super attack, and 2 assists. So, Goku could be super helpful right now and take out the Death Saucer. Did I do that right? Yep. Okay. Come on. And then those 2 are to be different. Well, I kind of want to take those out, and then you can use your dice for whatever you can use them for.
Okay.
So, different dice, different dice. Okay, I'm going to say that this one goes here. So the next one has to be something different than super attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put this one here, saying that the next 2 have to be assists.
Okay.
Okay? And then Krillin's dice, we don't have 2 punches. But what if one additional reroll of any number of dice? And Dragon Ball can do 3 damage. Krillin has 3 assists. So I'm going to discard those 3 assists to give you Gallic Gun. We're going to put that on Gohan. So now, not only are your super attacks worth double, if you pair them up, but your assists and your regular attacks are also counted as super attacks.
Okay.
Okay? So, Gohan can do a lot of damage this turn if you roll the right dice. And then, I can't use either of those on the power-up, but what I can do is use one of them on the Solar Flare, and I can use the other one over there. I don't have that, and I don't really need a Dragon Ball, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, so that you don't use a Dragon Ball up there, and then you can use the other 2 for your commons. So that's the end of my turn, and I don't have any more Dragon Balls to use or take advantage of. Piccolo has 1 Dragon Ball that you can still take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
It landed.
I wasn't rolling it.
It's okay. So Piccolo's dice are green, and they get isolated first, and then Gohan's blue ones. And we still haven't done any damage yet, so let's just, thank you. So first there's Piccolo, who can place 1 die, except for, well, it just says it can't be re-rolled. It doesn't say it can't be changed. So, and then that one says that the super attacks, which you don't have any of, can't be re-rolled. So, first, Gohan you could pass the assist over to Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You have 2 attacks here, which would do 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have 2 Dragon Balls, which would do 6 damage. And then, since we need something that's not a Dragon Ball, and something else that's not a Dragon Ball, we need to try to take out the perfect barrier. You only have one assist, so you could put it up there.
Mm-hmm.
And you could probably change this one to be an assist, and then you could take out that top power up. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you would still get your 6 damage. And then the one fist, it'll do 1 point. That's it. But at least the power up would be out. And your 2 that Gohan has already rolled will still count as 2 more super attacks.
Okay. So we're putting this one here because it's different.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense because I said to use it as 1 point of damage, but no, that makes more sense. And then this one, you're going to use his ability to change to an assist, if you wanted to.
Okay, so this one's right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one's changing to an assist.
Okay.
So that these can go up here and take this one out.
Right.
And then these 2 can be used
As
for attacks?
3, yeah, they can be used as attacks for 3 damage. And then Solar Flare says that we don't get our bonus damage, but we do 6 attack. So that takes him down to -1. That takes him down to -5.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how much more damage we can do. Just bear with us. It's okay. We need 1 die for up there.
Alright, I have 2 Dragon Balls, a fist, and 2 assists.
Okay. Well, you also have a super attack on Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
So Piccolo could use this, so that way you don't lose any more dice. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. And then Gohan gets his fists and his assists to count as super attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so if you want to go ahead and use 2 of those for the 8 damage. So, what did I say, -5?
So I can use...
Yeah, those 2 as these. And then because you used 2 of those, it does 8 damage. So, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, -13 right now.
Okay. And then...
Your fist, like nothing's needed up there. Gohan can re-roll. You can re-roll all 3 of those. No, you can't re-roll the Dragon Balls. Sorry. Because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could take 2 items and then use them for whatever you wanted. Because the only thing that these are is wilds, single attacks, and super attacks.
Yeah.
Which all count for your double damage.
Okay. So, yeah, let's do 2 of the Dragon Ball tiles.
Okay, so there's a fist. And a fist.
So I have 3 fists
Okay,
left.
that's fine. So go ahead and use 2 of them. And that will do 8 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So -21 right now. And then that will unfortunately only count as 1 damage. So 22.
Mm-hmm.
We've expended all of our dice. We have no more Dragon Balls. And he is currently at -22